So, the Ninja Turtles anime. Yes, it exists, and it's as bizarre as you've heard. Here's how it happened. By the mid-1990s, the once all-powerful Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series was limping to the finish line after a decade of pop culture domination, its star having largely been eclipsed by the new top dog of action-oriented kids shows. But its money-making toy line continued to turn a profit, and reruns of the series remained popular in foreign markets, particularly in Japan. Takara, the toy company that owned the TMNT license in Japan, elected to produce two lines of Japanese-exclusive figures in order to get in on the action. The Super Mutants, wherein the Turtles could morph into weird, masked muscle men versions of themselves, and the Metal Mutants, where each character got a pet monster that transformed into a suit of armor. I'm told the toys actually did make their way to a limited American release, though I never recall seeing them, and they're said to be pretty rare now. Anyway, TV Tokyo put together a pair of direct-to-video animated shorts designed to promote each of the two lines. Yes, in the end, these aren't so much spin-offs or reimaginings as much as they are toy commercials, to an even more blatant degree than the originals were toy commercials. But let's have a look. In the first one, The Great Crisis of the Super Turtles, the respective good and evil forces of the series have been alternately befriended by a pair of all-powerful fairies named Chris Moo and Dark Moo. Guess which one is evil? Who've given them magic gems that let them turn into bigger, stronger forms. We're informed of this new status quo by the opening credits, incidentally. In the story proper, it's just kinda how things are. Krang is blowing up planets in order to release Dark Moo's full power, and since the Foot Clan is on vacation for some reason, Shredder, Bebop, and Rocksteady have to go keep the Turtles from messing up his plans in person. You'll notice that for some reason, everyone is still being largely drawn on model from the American series, except for Shredder, who kinda looks like a Ronin warrior knocked up a Digimon. Best to just go with it, trust me. So they all bust out the magic stones, which turns the Turtles and Bebop and Rocksteady into pretty much buff manga-style versions of themselves. Shredder, meanwhile, becomes a robot dragon. Just go with it. In the ensuing battle, New York City winds up flooded, the Technodrome turns out to be surprisingly buoyant, and Shredder turns into an even bigger robot dragon, though he's no match for having a building dropped on his head. The real threat, of course, is Dark Moo, so the Super Mutant Turtles bust out the big guns. Yes, you guessed it, merging into a single giant-sized winged super mutant called the Turtle Saint. Just go with it. After a final battle in outer space, just go with it, the day is saved, though they actually wind up losing the super mutant powers. So, continuity is secure, I guess. The second feature, Legend of the Guardian Beast, doubles down and actually sends the Turtles on a trip to Japan. They're supposed to help a clan of ninjas who've got magic mirror and ghost problems. The mirror has more of those magic mutation stones embedded in it, so Shredder, having undergone another design overhaul for some reason, and his lackeys are dispatched to mess things up. As you'll be unsurprised to learn, the stones wind up bestowing sets of magical armor upon each of the fighters, and they wind up on top of a ninja castle throwing energy blasts at each other until the Ultraman-style arbitrary superpower time limit expires and the bad guys are forced to retreat. I do like the apparent lack of rhyme or reason as to who gets what Japanese mythological creature's armor. Why is Shredder a tiger? Why is Bebop, who's already a pig, a whale? Why is Michelangelo a half crab, half lion? Why not? And yeah, that's pretty much the Ninja Turtles anime in a nutshell. If you ever were or still are a big Turtles fan, I guess it's kind of an interesting footnote, and it is pretty wild after so many years of seeing certain Japanese properties get mangled in American remakes to see an American series get drastically retooled to appeal to a Japanese sensibility, but it's not quite as weird or fun as these clips might suggest. Probably the biggest disappointment, given the legendary status these quote-unquote lost features once had among Turtles fandom, they aren't really much of a radical departure from the original series other than the toyetic new power sets, so if you're hoping to see some more dynamic fight scenes or maybe the Turtles actually using their weapons because it's anime, yeah, not so much. Still pretty much the same slapstick and pun-heavy comedy you remember. But it does remain a pretty damn unique form of culture shock, and I'm glad I got to share some of it with you guys. Also, let's face it, it's still better than the next mutation was. I'm Bob, and that's the big picture.